Pinon, from the French Embassy, Romain Boya, and colleagues from Expertise France, colleagues Milu, colleagues representing various agencies, ICT Authority, our central bank, various agencies, and colleagues from the ministry. Good morning. This is a very important moment for us as we deepen our collaboration and partnership with EU and partner states, including the EU and the Expertise France. And before I give my remarks, I want to invite our guests who are with us here to give us their remarks. And we'll start with the political counselor of the French Embassy, Mr. Romain Boya. Please welcome.
Honorable Principal Secretaries, dear representatives from the Ministries of Information, Communication and the Digital Economy, Ministry of Internal Security and National Treasury, dear colleagues from Team France, Team Europe, ladies and gentlemen, habari za asubuhi. Hatujambo. Mimi naitwa Romain Boye, ninafanya kazi katika ubalozi wa Ufaransa, and I will stop here in Kiswahili. I'm the political counselor of the French Embassy, representing here the French ambassador, who is held at other functions. And as you all know, we are gathered here to launch, this morning, to launch a critical project aimed at strengthening the resilience of the cybersecurity ecosystem in Kenya. Of course, my colleague Elizabeth has talked about the project, so I would rather focus on three main and core messages. First, let me recall the obvious. Cybersecurity matters in Kenya because Kenya has emerged as one of Africa's digital frontrunners. With growing 4G and 5G infrastructure, greater access to smartphones, forward-thinking innovation, or mobile broadband internet, Kenya is making significant strides. From a thriving mobile money ecosystem to increasing efforts to digitalize public services, Kenya's push for inclusive digital transformation offers useful lessons to the region, but also to the world. But in Kenya, as everywhere in the world, this thriving digital shift also reflects our exposure to cyber threats and to cyber crime. Cyber threat volume is surging. In Kenya only, just the first quarter of 2025, the communications authorities of Kenya detected 4.6 billion threats in the country. These threats rose by 350% in East Africa. And it's also true in France, in Europe, and everywhere in the world. Cybersecurity is therefore a key enabler of sustainable digital transformation and strong resilience for our digital institutions. So France wishes to express its sincere appreciation to the government of Kenya for its leadership in that matter. It does matter because more cybersecurity means more sovereignty in the digital sphere. And strengthening Kenya's sovereignty is at the cornerstone of France and of the EU's priorities in the country. And this is my second message. In an increasingly interconnected, yet more and more fragmented world, we need to build capacities to level up our regulations to address global issues such as digital transformation. That is why France is proud to jointly host with Kenya the Africa Forward Summit, which will be held in Nairobi on the 11th and 12th of May, that will focus on those global issues, including AI and connectivity. This summit will demonstrate our commitment to shape partnership-based and mutually beneficial solutions anchored on effective multilateralism to address global challenges. So this spirit also translates today and this morning in this cybersecurity project. France and the EU are reliable partners, willing to achieve a common goal with Kenya, which is a cyberspace that is open, that is secure, and that is respectful of fundamental rights and contribute to strengthening trust between citizens, public institutions, and the private sector. To that end, the projects we are talking about this morning supports Kenya's ambition to improve coordination among institutions and foster a shared cybersecurity culture, which is essential for long-term sustainability and national ownership. Indeed, the success of the Kenya Cyber Resilience Project relies on the ownership and on close cooperation between key institutions. And this is my third and final message. This project, funded by the EU with an allocation of 3 million euros over 36 months, reflects the strength of the Kenya-France-EU partnership and of the Team Europe approach, combining European and French expertise in support of Kenya's national priorities. It also builds on France's long-standing engagement in Kenya's digital agenda, notably through the Connectivity and Digital Transformation, a recently launched project financed by the AFD Group, which supports secure and inclusive digital public services in Kenya. It also follows the extensions of the host country agreement between Kenya and the AFD Group. It was mentioned earlier, which was concluded exactly 7 days ago when the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi visited France, marking an important milestone in our bilateral cooperation. So France commends the strong leadership and commitment on Kenya's institutions involved in the implementation of this project, including the Ministry of Information, Communication and the Digital Economy, including the Ministry of Interior, the National Treasury, the Communication Authority of Kenya, the NT4. So let me acknowledge, dear Principal Secretaries, dear Representative, let me acknowledge your roles and your leadership and your commitment, which are critical to the success of this project. France remains fully committed to working alongside Kenya and its partners to promote a human-centered, open and secure cyberspace, and to supporting a digital transformation that benefits citizens, institutions, and the economy alike. Thank you very much. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. Poya, and also we are very grateful for the presentation done earlier by Matthew Lopet and also by presentation by Elizabeth Revia, showing the details of what we are doing. Now we want to invite our colleague and friend from the European Union, Mr. Korke Binon, to give his remarks. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you, PS. Our chief guest, the Honorable Stephen Isaboke, Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Communication, Digital Economy, in charge of broadcasting and telecommunications, PS Engineer, Honorable Engineer John Tanui, PS in charge of Digital Economy, ICT, the representatives from the government of Kenya, from other ministries, my colleagues, the Romain Boyer, political counselor of the French Embassy, other colleagues from Expertise France, SDEF, from other European Union member states here present, distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a great pleasure to be here today to launch the Kenya Cyber Resilience Project. This is a partnership that reflects not only our shared values between you and Kenya, but also our shared responsibility in a world that is increasingly digital. And let me begin by sincerely thanking the government of Kenya for the excellent collaboration that brought us here together today. This project is the result of an open dialogue, of trust, of a common ambition to strengthen Kenya's economy and the resilience in the digital age. Of course, a launch is always, or usually, marks a beginning. But today, what I wanted to share with you as well is what was the real beginning of this program. It was conceived during the first EU-Kenya security and defense dialogues, where both EU and Kenya came together to the shared recognition that security in the 21st century does not stop on physical borders. There was in 2023, back in 2023, when we started to have these dialogues. Indeed, our security extends to cyberspace, to digital networks that power our hospitals, our financial systems, our transport and communication, and ultimately our democratic and common life. So the EU is investing in expanding Kenya's digital infrastructure, to do that through what we call our Global Gateway offer. But of course, as connectivity becomes greater, the targeting in terms of cybersecurity threats becomes greater, increases as well. And this is confirmed by the data that we have. Cyber attacks have been increasing year after year, and they have real costs. They are deeply felt, these costs are measurable, and every single attack represents an attempt to steal data, to disrupt critical services, or to undermine trust in the digital systems. If you look only at 2025, cyber attacks are estimated to have cost Kenya almost 30 billion Kenyan shillings. 30 billion Kenyan shillings. With that, you could indeed build county hospitals, you could fund thousands of schools, you could basically create tens of thousands of jobs. And this is what makes this program, the Kenyan Cyber Resilience Project, gives it this importance, which justifies why it matters. So the project, has already been presented by Elizabeth. It addresses critical needs that emerge from previous cooperation discussions between Kenya and the EU, and also from the previous dialogue. But I would like just to underline a few examples that we found particularly important. The project will support the cybersecurity policy, Kenya. It will support the critical information infrastructure protection framework. It will strengthen the Kenyan computer incident response team, and it will introduce scenario-based testing and training. It's also important for us, and we do want to recognize the progress that Kenya has made in establishing a new national cybersecurity agency, which was recently adopted by Cabinet just in the past December. On our side, the European Union stands ready to support this important institutional step through this project, but also through other available mechanisms. But we believe that our cooperation in terms of cybersecurity should go beyond the scope of this project. And always set within the framework of our security and defense dialogue with Kenya, we continue to stay ready to facilitate partnerships with relevant European institutions, for example, on the NIS2 directive and also on the EU cybersecurity regulation. But beyond EU institutions, cybersecurity is also a high priority for our member states. There are already several memoranda of understanding with several member states and Kenya, but also we have had the study visits in 2025 to the Czech Republic, to Sweden, to Belgium, and they will certainly bring opportunities for new collaboration. Overall, the EU, as we continue to seek cooperation with Kenya to advance an international rule-based framework for cybersecurity, because we think the cyber threats are transnational and cannot be addressed on silos. So in closing, let me reaffirm that the European Union is proud to stand with Kenya on this journey as a partner, learning, sharing expertise, and building together. And I would like to again thank the government of Kenya, our implementing partners, Expertise France, SDEF, as well as all stakeholders who have contributed to shaping this initiative. I'm sure and confident that together we can make Kenya's digital infrastructure not only innovative, but also secure and resilient. Asante sana.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Korke Pinon, for sharing the progress and opportunities that we have. Indeed, this is a special day for us as we work jointly with our global partners, the European Union, as SDEF, to launch the Cyber Resilience Project for Kenya. Just to lay the foundation where we are as a country, we've made quite some strides in terms of connectivity of our country. We have done from 2022 now over 30,000 kilometers of additional fiber connectivity across our country, extending to our various counties, going down to the sub-counties, and to various public institutions. We are also working with our partners, the Kenya Power, to also accelerate additional connectivity. We're expecting with the current arrangement with the funding from the Universal Service Fund to add another 12,000 kilometers under the Kenya Power overhead fiber transmission connectivity. We are very grateful also to the World Bank for the support in funding, and we are also accelerating connectivity using additional funding from World Bank to ensure the rest of the country is connected, and we're expecting up to 20,000 institutions to be connected through the World Bank funding. This will bring us closer to our initial target, but there is still some gaps, and we are very grateful to the European Union, the French government, and the AFD for their support, because we are in conversation for an additional funding that will support us to enhance or extend the overhead fiber connectivity in our country with the support of funding from the French government. We expect this to materialize with financing agreement to be signed during the upcoming Africa-France summit to be held in Kenya, which is also a special event, the first event being done outside a French-speaking country. And we are very proud as a country that we are going to host that event. We have also quite an ambitious program in terms of digitization as a country. We have over 22,000 government services fully available online, and also over 16 million users have already registered on this platform, and we have over 500,000 users logging on to this platform every day. This represents the platform that our country is using to drive its economy. We have also digitized our health sector. Today, we have over 28 million Kenyans registered on the health digital platform, offering services, real-time services that today, if you are looking to that system, you can know from morning to now how many people have been served in the various facilities across the country and what are issues. It's giving us a huge information in terms of what's going in the country in the health sector and creating a platform for data-driven decision-making in our country. The same is happening across the various sectors, education sector, health sector, and many others. And this represents an extended service of digital platform and digital government, and presents a wider area for attack in respect to cybersecurity. And that's why this event today is very important, because we need to look at how to strengthen and enhance our cybersecurity position as a country, improve our capabilities as a country, and also look forward with partners and build from their experience. Some of the other things we are doing in respect to enhancing Kenya as a digital country is enhancing our international connectivity. We have now up to 8 submarine cables operational at the port of Mombasa. We recently enhanced by connecting Mombasa port and Dar es Salaam port to ensure the 4 submarine cables in Tanzania at Dar es Salaam port have a resilience and redundancies through the Mombasa 8 submarine cables and vice versa. This helps to position Kenya better. We have also conversations with the support of EU for additional submarine cables at the port of Mombasa. And we are very happy to see private investors, our partner nations and partners discussing with us additional connectivity to make Kenya a really well-connected country and to be a key player in the East Coast when it comes to submarine connectivity for our country. We've also seen investment continue to rise in the country. Top global BPOs already coming to the country. We have CCI here close in Nairobi. Teleperformance entered Kenya, the world's #1 business process outsourcing. And some of the services also they offer to the global partners and global organization include cybersecurity. We've seen also Kenyan initiated or started PPOs emerging from our country. And the aspect of cybersecurity is a global concern. And even to these investors who have selected Kenya for their global business services. And so cybersecurity is not only for our own interest, but it is for the interest of all the global players that are working with us to ensure that the digital infrastructure is a trusted partner, is a trusted country. We want to appreciate the EU and our partners for the support we continue to receive. We are looking forward through our data protection conversations on adequacy. We know quite progress has been made. We're still very optimistic Kenya would be the first country in the African continent to achieve the adequacy level, and hopefully soon. We are also grateful for the support we have received of our various agencies from EU, including ICT Authority, Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, the establishment of the Digital Transformation Center in Kenya, which has played a big role in terms of accelerating our transformation as a country. So as we launch the Cyber Resilience Project with the support of Expertise France, the EU, we're looking forward to address some of the biggest challenges that we have, which is one, strengthening the capability of our human resource in government. We're also looking forward to see how we can strengthen the critical infrastructure that we have as a country. We are also looking at how we can leverage global partnership so that Kenya becomes a key player when it comes to cybersecurity, because cybersecurity is a global issue and we want to be able to share intelligence and skills and capacity with our global players so that we make the digital space a trusted ecosystem. Kenya pays high attention to cybersecurity because we are already relying on the digital infrastructure, as mentioned, from healthcare, citizen services, in the agricultural sector, our educational sector. So we must make our infrastructure resilient. We must build the capabilities to defend so that these systems are able to support us. And we know there are many actors in that ecosystem, and some are aimed at disrupting digital infrastructure. But we want Kenya to be strong. And we want to thank our agencies within the Ministry of ICT, our interior colleagues, NC4, ICT Authority, Concert Technopolis, and our various directors and directorates across state departments for the efforts they have made to ensure Kenya remains resilient. We've been able to defend the digital infrastructure to ensure the services are available and to ensure that we are able to protect citizen services, protect citizen data, and also to ensure credentials and the wealth of the nation is secured. So I don't want to speak beyond there, but to really thank our partners for the great work you are doing for us, thank our colleagues for the work you are doing, and to appreciate this other step that we are starting today on building the Kenya Cyber Resilience Project that will lift our country to the next step. We are grateful to the EU team for your support, Your Excellencies. Thank you very much. We believe this is a beginning of a greater partnership, and we're looking forward for even deeper engagements in the days to come. I now wish to invite our chief guest, PS Telecommunications and Broadcasting, Stephen Isaboke, to give his remarks and to officially launch the Kenya Cyber Resilience Initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother PS. Your Excellency, the EU rep in Kenya, Excellencies, the rep of the French Embassy and all the other distinguished guests. I ride on the protocols already established. And really, it's my honor to be here this morning. Good morning, everyone. Habari ya asubuhi. I think before we came here, obviously to join the rest of the team, we had made a pact with the rest of us. I think Elizabeth, I don't know if you've gone, was meant to anchor the whole process by the entire speech being in Swahili, because we presume everyone has now learned Swahili. But once she came up and after the niceties, breaking ice, she defaulted factory settings into English. So I will actually be left with no alternative, but obviously to follow cue, to give my brief remarks on behalf of obviously the ministry and my host, PS, and obviously the government of Kenya on this very important agenda. So Kenya stands today as a global leader in digital innovation through invention of M-Pesa, which in fact, as a nation, we bequeathed to the world. So today, with your mobile phone, you're actually able to transfer funds and basically transact across, obviously in Kenya, but that has actually become now the new norm globally. We're the nation that digitized over 20,000 government services, bringing the state to the palm of every citizen's hand. Our Silicon Savannah at Konza is not just a name. And in fact, not so long ago, His Excellency the President officially launched the Konza Technopolis, and those of us who joined could see what we have. It's not a claim, it's not a promise, it is a reality, because that city stands among the very best sort of tech cities. And it's a testament to a collective ambition to thrive in this new 21st century, which is in fact an information age. However, we have built this magnificent digital house. So using the analogy of a house, the windows and doors have remained vulnerable due to cyber threats. And I know if you follow what's going on globally, especially with critical infrastructure, your biggest issue is not now your physical borders or your brick and mortar. It is cyber. And you can actually see the effect or what can happen if your cyber space is breached. The risks are far too high to actually let loose, and hence the reason for this meeting. Kenya's digital transformation has expanded access to electronic services and online platforms, but it has also heightened our exposure to sophisticated cyber risks that are actually constantly evolving. Kenya is faced with a reality where fragmented governance, limited operational capacities, and low public awareness of cyber hygiene pose a direct threat to our national security and economic stability. Today, we do not just acknowledge these risks, we confront them. We're here to launch the Kenya Cyber Resilience, KCR project, a comprehensive 3 million euros initiative designed over 36 months to ensure that our digital future is built on a foundation of trust and security. Cyberspace knows no boundaries or borders. Therefore, resilience cannot be built in isolation. The KCR project is a shining example of international solidarity funded by the European Union and implemented by the Expertise France in partnership with Estonia Center for International Development. This project brings together European expertise and Kenyan leadership. And we really want to affirm our EU partners who have actually stood with us for a long, long time. As many of you will know, Kenya actually opened up our space in terms of the economy, in terms of digital space. We were among the very first countries to actually go free market economy and totally liberal. And so the EU has actually worked with us in that journey to the extent that what you find in the Kenyan space is probably as good as you can get in Europe and the rest of the world because our partners have brought us along. This is a collective ecosystem. We're working hand in hand with our key institutional partners, the Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy, the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, who are represented here, and the Communications Authority, among other partners. Together, we are pursuing a singular vision to contribute to the creation of a safer, more inclusive, and trusted cyberspace for every Kenyan. Our first priority is to move away from fragmented frameworks towards a clear, robust, legal and institutional environment. Without a unified rulebook or playbook, our defenses remain uncoordinated and face a risk to our digital sovereignty. Under the Kenya Cyber Resilience KCR project, we will define the national policy by providing technical feedback on the national cybersecurity policy, ensuring it aligns with international standards like the EU network and information security, NIS2 practices. Protect critical infrastructure through support the critical information infrastructure, CII, designation process, beginning with the pilot programs in vital sectors such as telecommunications, and we must identify systems that are too big to fail and wrap them in a layer of absolute protection. And I think I just want to, for example, cite the M-Pesa, if really you have to call out what can be too big to fail. Today, our economy cannot run without M-Pesa. So M-Pesa is not a merely financial system that's being run by one of the operators, one of the telco operators. It is actually a critical infrastructure. So in the course of this cyber resilience, we must protect stuff like the M-Pesa system that is too big to fail because it's actually critical for the country, critical for our economy, and critical for our security. So empower the proposed establishment of National Cybersecurity Agency, the NCSA, mapping its mandate and the structure to ensure it can lead our nation through the future crises, especially with AI and all this metadata or megadata, and in fact, so much information overload and everyone being digitally connected. There is a critical need to actually ensure that our cyber space is actually fully secured. Otherwise, it's like building a house and you leave it ajar, and obviously then anybody can actually then come and either attack or raid. A nation's cybersecurity is only as strong as its least informed citizen. That's why our third pillar, awareness and inclusion, is the heartbeat of this project. We're moving beyond technical cycles to reach the general public with a specific focus on women, youth, and public users. Our goal is to develop a gender-responsive cyber hygiene strategy that ensures no one is left behind in the digital economy. We will launch a nationwide awareness campaign and deploy interactive online platforms. This platform will offer e-tests and e-courses, allowing citizens or wananchi to earn certifications in cyber hygiene. By empowering the individual, we reinforce the entire nation. This project goes beyond statements of intent. It is a structured, results-driven roadmap for implementation. The 2025-27 work plan outlines the following priority actions. Number one, conducting baseline surveys to classify cyber risks across the sectors. Number two, developing a national training and certification scheme to fill the cybersecurity skills gap in our workforce. Number three, connecting Kenya to a regional threat sharing networks to ensure we are part of a global defensive community. Each activity shall be meticulously planned with our partners at the Ministry of Information and Communication, Digital Economy, to ensure maximum impact and long-term sustainability. If you use an analogy of a Kenyan mother who uses her phone to pay for her child's school fees, she should do so with absolute confidence that her data and her money is actually secure. When a young entrepreneur, like the ones we're actually launching out, His Excellency is launching out on Nyota, either in Kisumu, or Moyale, or Kitale, or Baringo, sort of launches a startup, they should do so knowing that infrastructure they rely on is resilient against sabotage by cyber actors. To our government officials, many of you who are actually here, who have actually worked very hard to get this going, I urge you to prioritize the legislative reforms necessary to make this project a success. To our technical experts, you are the front line. Your dedication is our greatest asset, and I think many of you spoke ahead of the PS to make statements of affirmation and commitment in terms of a whole of government approach from the central bank to the NC4, to the CA, to the ICT authority, to all of us, just to make sure that we've actually played and worked to our best to ensure that cybersecurity is prioritized. To our international partners led by the EU, Expertise France, and the rest of the teams, we thank you. We thank you for your cooperation. Thank you for your trust and investment in Kenya's potential. Finally, as I close my few remarks, I want to say that cyber resilience is not a tech problem. This is not technology, it's a lifestyle. It's actually what the future is, because technology is not an option now. In the era of AI, everything is now gone tech, everything. You know, from your agriculture to your transport, everything. So it is a national priority. It is a prerequisite for our economic growth and the guardian of our democratic values. The launch of the Kenya Cyber Resilience Project today marks the beginning of a 6-month journey towards a safer digital Kenya. We have a plan. We have partners such as EU and the French partners. We have the willpower. Let us work together to ensure that Silicon Savannah, which in fact is our promise, which in fact has now led to our promise of Singapore, remains a place of innovation, a place of opportunity, and above all, a place of cyber security. I thank you all, and God bless Kenya. Thank you. I now want to invite my colleagues to join me upstage for a ceremonial launch of the cybersecurity initiative.
Thank you very much, our chief guests. We shall now proceed to have a photo session. And the photo session includes the high table, just as you are, a photo session, the first photo. Then the second one, the high table will be joined by the officers from the EU, officers from the French Embassy, and officers from Expertise France. First photo. Then we can have the second photo. The officials I've mentioned, please join the podium. EU, French Embassy, and Expertise France. Then after that, we shall also have now represented from the actors, ICTA, NCA, CA, Central Bank, and the Director Cyber Security joining the ITEBU. Please join fast. We need to move. Officials from EU, French Embassy, and Expertise France, please join the ITEBU. Then we can have ICTA, NCA, CA, Director Cyber Security, Central Bank, and also the officers from DOD. Please join the podium. The officers from DOD, please join. The next one will be our HODs from the State Department for ICT and Digital Economy. Make sure you can see the camera. Thank you very much. HODs, please join. HODs from the State Department for ICT and Digital Economy. And that's the last one. Thank you very much. We will now have a coffee break. Then I will invite Elizabeth to announce on the next move in line with the steering committee. Elizabeth. Elizabeth.
So just after the coffee break, we will have the steering committee with only the permanent member that can stay. Thank you so much. And we will be meeting here in the same room.